Thank you. It's an honor to be here. On behalf of Secretary Carson and my HUD management team, which is for 540 people throughout the region, which is California, Arizona, Nevada, Hawaii, and the Pacific Islands. And I get the distinct opportunity to visit and look around and see what's actually happening throughout the region. And it is impressive here today to see so many caring professionals and youth. So what I would like to say first is if the youth that are here, would you please stand? I want to make sure that we recognize you, and that's the reason why we're here. As a former ward of the court myself, and I've spent 28 years in the field of health and human services working with every type of, whether it's schizophrenia, bipolar, dual diagnosed, co-occurring disorders, or trafficking, which is a significant issue. It's been brought up many times. One of the things that we're most focused on is how do we provide a safe house for individuals? How do we provide a safe environment? How do we provide something that's going to be necessary for the people that we care about the most, our next generations, the people that will eventually replace us? And we want to make sure that you future leaders or the people in this room who are providing the services continue to do exactly that. It's something that's very passionate for myself. And as I said before, on behalf of Secretary Carson, he did express his greatness of appreciation for everything that you guys do. To bring up some of the talking points or things that I think that are relevant to what happens throughout the region and here in Nevada. And one of the people I want to address as well is when I have to rely on staff, I have my field office director, which is Tammy, and she is here with me. So if you get a chance to meet with her, she is someone who is actually someone that's going to be helping you guys quite a bit if you doesn't already work with her. One example of the expanded coordination between HUD and the Department of Education is being addressed in an issue raised here today, and the challenges of definitions of defining homelessness. Everybody will have their own varying definition of what homeless looks like. But if you ask a child, a person who's homeless right now, it's at their worst possible time in their life when they feel like nobody is there supporting them and the adults in the room aren't in their corner, or at least that's what they feel. But here today you can see that it's not the case. We just need to make sure that there are more of us as adults and professionals in the community that work with these kids. When we think about moving the dial forward, we don't think that it's going to be very simple. There's no task that's worthwhile doing that's going to be simple. It's going to be hard, it's going to be arduous, and it's something that you're going to do worthwhile because you believe it's where it comes from the heart, comes from the soul. It's where you believe. It's something that we know we can see it's tangible and that we can express the ways in which we need to be supportive to our future youth and the adults who are homeless and the most vulnerable and the individuals on the street that we see every day we drive by when we walk down the streets. The challenges we face, we see. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be something that, in my opinion, is a bipartisan approach. It is not something that's going to be D or R. It is going to be something that we have to do, work with each other to continue to make sure we move the dial in a forward path. So as you know, HUD requires continuums of care to count homeless populations regularly. That includes youth, but you may not know it's where we've learned a lot about in the last few years. Having a strong pit count leadership team and getting in the process to figuring out where people are at. Youth pit count coordinators, communities implement these things among other promising practices. Also, it's where we need to make sure that you can't always count what you can't see. We have kids who are couch surfing, kids who are hiding, people who don't want to be seen. So we want to make sure that we address those issues as well. Last but not least is in addition to the tens of millions of dollars in annual homelessness assistance that HUD already awards agencies across Nevada. HUD is providing additional funding to create more exit out of homeless for young adults. One of the things that I'm most proud of as the Secretary rolled out this year is the Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. This is to provide an additional 24,000 vouchers for those individuals exiting and aging out of foster care. It's something that we believe is very important. The Secretary had made it very clear, and he gave me the distinct honor of being the point of contact for all of FPM across the country, which is, for me, it's a very, kids are the future. We can't diminish what we know. We were once them. We owe it to them to make sure that we continue to do the right thing. The most recent example of the new initiative, as I expressed, it was the Foster Youth to Independence, is housing authorities who didn't qualify prior to can now qualify depending on where they are at. So it's something that is actually, when you think about giving the opportunity of having those kids given opportunities for housing, getting them off the street to give them something safe where they can be successful is crucial. And since progress with other social programs is always incremental, my hope is that once we can demonstrate that FYI works in this subset of homeless youth, we can realize the expansion. And when you realize, yes, it's 24,000 beds, maybe we can start to prove that we need more. And we can show evidence base. And we can actually use the metrics and statistics to show exactly what we're asking for to actually move the dial even farther. Yes, it's a small amount, but it's a small amount that we didn't have before. And it's because of caring, compassionate individuals such as yourself that are pushing things forward and making us listen. We're paying attention. We're seeing what's happening. I'll close with a few things. Since the administration took office in 2016, HUD has invested $41.3 million in targeted homelessness assistance here in Las Vegas and Clark County, over $48 million statewide. And those figures have gone up every year since Las Vegas and Clark County and across the state. Is it enough? No. Do we need more? Yes. But it's something that we can try to push forward. We show incremental progress. We show that what's taking place. We show the successes. We show the happy faces. We show the kids off the streets. And we see their parents taking pride in what's happening in their own families, so they have the belief and the success that there is people who do care. We don't want them on the street. Together we can do this. Together we will do this. And I'm encouraged today, especially after spending my entire career and most of my life as a ward of the court. I love the fact that there's people in this room that have passion and that they're willing to stand up for what they believe is right. I commend you on this. I thank you on this. And it's an honor to be here to speak in front of you. I'm not the center of attention. It's everyone in this room who are doing the work and the kids that are doing this as well. So thank you.